We have received hundreds of viewer questions for tonight. So I want to ask this one from Darshana. If elected, how will you protect religious freedoms for all Hoosiers, not just Christians? I'm going to start with you, Mr. Doden.
Well, I mean, I'm a big believer in religious freedom. My grandpa was a pastor, and we definitely believe that everyone has the right to worship in the way that they see fit. So we're going to make sure that we protect religious freedom for people. We're going to make sure that we treat people the way that we want to be treated. These are just, to me, foundational, basic issues that we're going to make sure that we help people feel that they have the right to practice their religion the way they see fit.
Thank you.
Mr. Braun.
I'm glad that he believes that. The question would be, would he ever put his money where his mouth is? I was in the legislature when we confronted that issue back several years ago, on record supporting it. I would hope everyone on this stage would be unequivocally in support of religious freedom, just like you should be of First and Second Amendment rights as well. And there are a couple on the stage here that had to think about it, whether they were going to support and be aggressive for our Second Amendment rights. Came on to that issue late. And a lot of it you got to decipher through. I went through this rodeo 6 years ago. You hear a lot of stuff. You got to sift through what makes sense and what doesn't. And for any of us here, you ought to be looking at a record that makes sense, not what you say you're going to do. That's very easy to do.
All right, thank you, Mr. Braun. Mr. Hill, how would you protect religious freedoms?
The same way I have been protecting religious freedoms as Attorney General. That was my #1 job, protecting freedom. Religious freedom is absolutely important. Basic freedom. Sometimes we talk about getting religious freedom. Our basic freedoms in this country are under assault. So we need to make sure that we do that as well. But one of the ways that we protect freedom is to make sure that we don't support or give aid and comfort to Marxist organizations like Black Lives Matter that are anti-Semitic, that are racist, that are anti-family. That's the basis of who we are. And we cannot issue support for organizations that are anti-freedom and anti-religion.
Thank you. Mr. Chambers, same question.
Yeah. Of course, we have to protect religious freedoms, but right in this moment, we have to talk about anti-Semitism as well, and that's been winding its way through the legislature, and that is a very important issue with the act of terrorism that happened on October 7th. I mean, we need to stand up and protect our Jewish friends in this state and be bold and aggressive with that. And so that's part of protecting all of religious freedoms, especially right now and in time of crisis, our Jewish friends. On Senator's comment about track record, I mean, he uses that comment all the time. I mean, he's got a track record on BLM. He's got a track record on his position on qualified immunity that is impacting the ability for police officers to fill their roles statewide. He's got 45 tax increases. That's on his track record. Let's talk, and you have no action on the border. That's your track record.
Thank you. Ms. Crouch, you have 6 seconds. How would you as governor protect religious freedoms here in Indiana?
Well, as Hoosiers and as Americans, we should have the right to live our lives without interference from government, and that includes religious freedom. Our country was founded because people wanted to have religious freedom. And so as governor, I'll fight for your religious freedom, but also fight for your economic freedom and your ability to live your life without interference from government. Because at the end of the day, that is what people want, is to be able to live their lives without interference from government. Religious freedom is a basic part of that.
Thank you. So, Mr. Doden, you have 30
I just
seconds.
want to clarify one thing. So there was this, we came late to the Second Amendment accusation, and the reality is I've been a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. Senator Braun knows I've been a strong supporter of that. We did get the questionnaire a little late because the NRA got it to us late, so we filled out the questionnaire within 1 day, got it back, and we have an AQ rating, which is an A rating with questionnaire. And so I just to be clear, there was no equivocating. It was just, we are clearly pro-Second Amendment.
Mr. Braun, you have 30 seconds. Would you like to respond?
Well, it was always clear where I was, and that record is clear. I've got a perfect rating with the NRA. A lot of times when you got to get to the issue, it's because you weren't out front with it. There's a big difference. I've tried to take the 5 years I've spent representing Hoosiers there and be a loud voice for all the things we believe in. And my track record is clear. Faith, family, community. I got a freedom and opportunity agenda out there that you ought to take a look at. No one's got that.
That's your time. Thank you.
Candidates, thank you very much.